I'm Sue.
I'm Julia.
And welcome to Sticks and Stones, episode number 23. On today's episode of Sticks and Stones podcast, we're celebrating our Podiversary. It's been 1 year that we've been making podcasts, and we're going to celebrate by decorating cookies. In addition, we'll catch up with Sue's shoes and Julia's knitting. Join us! Welcome back! It's spring! It's short sleeves!
And we're baking! That's what the aprons are for.
Yeah. Yep, bacon, bacon, bacon.
It's retro day. Because women can only be in the kitchen on retro day.
That's right.
Just kidding.
That's the time we're driving trucks and making aircrafts.
Sorry, that just totally took me by surprise.
River to Rosie.
I'm just spoiled because my husband likes to cook and I don't have to do it.
I cooked all day yesterday.
What'd you make?
I made banana bread. I made some sort of crazy roll-up spinach ricotta pork thing. Salad in a jar.
That's a lot of stuff you made then.
Yes, I was busy. I was supposed to be recording a podcast, but it got postponed, and suddenly I was like, what am I going to do with the whole day except cook?
Yeah, I had another...
Oh, and I baked cookies for our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? That's our DIY today. We're going to ice cookies.
That sounds fun.
I spent some time on the internet trying to figure out if there's a difference between icing and frosting. The answer is I don't know.
Not a lot of info on that one.
Well, actually, there's too much. Some people think there's a difference. Some people say one's frosting is thicker and creamier, and icing is thinner. But then you're getting to glazes. All very conflict. I'm not that much of a cook to really. I call them all the same: icing, frosting.
Yeah, it works for me. It goes on the cookie, on the cake.
But I did learn, when I was researching that, I learned about this thing called a crumb layer, which I didn't know about.
Oh.
And it's where you basically glaze a cake so that you have a smooth surface to frost. So it's almost like you're pre-frosting it. Or it's like primer, when people put primer on their face before they put foundation on.
Interesting.
So it's called the crumb layer, and as you're spreading it with your spatula, you're supposed to wipe the crumbs off of your spatula, because sometimes it pulls the cake up.
Yeah.
So then you stick that in the fridge, and you let that cool or harden, then you refrost it.
I had no idea.
Either.
That's a big process. Maybe that would make my cakes look better, because mine always look horrible. I can never...
I think that's what it is. I didn't know that either.
All right, I'll try that next time.
All right. But in the meantime, you've been knitting?
Yeah, you think I'm doing anything else? Yeah, no, actually I've been very busy. So, let me show you. I am onto the sleeves of the Electric Youth.
Wow.
So we're almost ready for the big reveal, and I'm pretty excited. I think I'll have it done pretty soon, so that's plugging along, and I'm using my square needles. I've never used square needles before, and they're kind of fun.
Are they harder, easier, the same?
They're sharp. I'll say that. They're very sharp. Otherwise, I think they're pretty much the same. They don't slip as much, but I am just not used to the way they feel yet. It's a little bit different feeling in my hands, but they're doing the job, so that works for me. So there's that. And continuing with the green trend. I've got so much I had to give some to Sue. More green.
No, really, I did that. So I was holding it.
It's a different yarn, but it's the same green. It was my experimental thing. So I'm making what's called Locale, Locale, and it's a little shawl with some stripes up there.
That's really neat.
It goes this way.
I like the green and the black.
Yeah, I've been struggling to find a way to make the green work. So I'm using it with that. And that's coming along.
Fun.
Pretty quickly. And then I have my crazy hand spun. Everything is getting to the point where I'm almost done. So next month I'm going to have a whole bunch of new things, hopefully.
Or you're going to poke my eye out with a needle.
So it's getting there. I'm on my last color.
Pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited by it too.
It's really pretty.
And before I forget, the lovely woman who dyed the blue and the brown here that I spun up has offered to send us a braid for one of our donations for a prize for the Podiversary.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, so you guys can get to play with this too if you are a spinner. And hopefully the person who wins will be a spinner. If not, you'll have to learn.
Right. Or you can felt with it.
True, very true.
Needle felt.
But she does beautiful stuff, and I'm really excited to be able to offer you guys the chance to work with this. So there's that.
So we have a braid from her coming, and we have the earrings as a prize, and we have something else, right?
We have a coupon code. I'm going to make a set of stitch markers and a washcloth that I'll give with a nice bar of soap. And then I'm also putting all my patterns on sale. Speaking of which, I have a new one free out, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, go check out the pinstripe socks that I showed you, the crazy ones we talked about a few weeks ago. That pattern's released now. So
Fun.
that's cool.
Lots of stuff to
I
do.
know. And here's the yarn that I showed you guys last time. This is the yarn that has the discount from Spinning Fates. This is the Megara base. It's a fingering weight. And I just wanted to show you guys the beautiful colors it's coming out in now. This is the Zilver shawl that I was showing you guys last time. And I think it's great. It's so pretty and it's so simple to work with. It's really smooth and shows up the pattern really well. So
it does. So you can go to sticksandstonespodcast.wordpress.com to find out all the prizes and get more information on all the giveaways.
Yeah, and the Ravelry group thread has it as well. So just enter with a couple of questions and we will have a drawing beginning in May. And you've been working hard too then, yeah?
Yeah.
Eh?
Wow, you sounded Pennsylvania Dutch. I've never heard someone sound Pennsylvania Dutch.
Or Canadian. No.
Very closely related. I finished my shoes.
Yeah.
My Mod Podge shoes. They're a little sticky. I have to put a clear coat on them, but I'm not sure if it's the outdoor Mod Podge that I use. So, but they look cool, I think.
They are. They're really fun.
I put a little frog here.
There's a mushroom back there.
Yeah, there's a cat on the back.
Oh, neat.
So.
I like how you kept the little ridges of the shoe even.
Yeah, I think it turned out really neat then. It looks like it's folded over, almost like you folded the paper.
Yeah.
So
cool.
they turned out pretty cool for my first try. We'll see. Like I said, I want to spray them with an acrylic coat to see how they work and see if I can actually wear them outside and what happens. I was going to wear them on Easter, but it rained and I was afraid they would just like unravel.
Dissolve on your feet.
And then it would just be a nightmare. So
those are cute though.
Thank you. The other thing that I made for Easter was this. I bet you're wondering what this is.
I am wondering what that is.
So my kids love those kits that you can buy where there's a dinosaur in a block and you take a hammer and a mallet and you unearth the dinosaur.
Yes.
And then when they unearth it, they just don't do anything with it. Because I think that the whole point is to unearth it, not
to play with it.
Not to actually play with this stuff. So I decided to make some myself.
Ah.
So this is one that originally it was this big around and they've started to chip it apart. And I just put random stuff in there. I didn't know what would work. This is the sweet gum pod.
Oh, one of those spiky things?
A spike ball thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a mussel shell and a bead. But I just used plaster of Paris.
That's fun.
And did it in a little deli container. In fact, originally you could see that it said the recycling symbol on the bottom. But they've been having a lot of fun with it. And they do make a huge mess.
Outside.
You have to do it outside and there's plaster all over my yard. But they're having fun chipping it away. There's a bead here, I think. And I made one as a birthday gift, too, for a little kid. And I went and I bought him a little hammer. And I actually bought a punch. The kits that you buy, they usually come with a wooden hammer and a wooden chisel.
Okay.
They're destroying the wooden chisel on this. So I bought, rather than buying an actual chisel that he could hurt himself with, I bought a punch, if you know what that is. It's a piece of a metal thing that has a hole at the bottom, and it's usually, you whack something to start a nail.
Okay, yep.
So, so it doesn't have a sharp tip, it has a flat tip.
Okay.
So, yeah. So cool. I see more of these in our future because they just really like to unearth stuff. So I just found random objects I already have and bought some little crystals at Michael's and bought some crystals when we went to a museum and put them in there. And so they've been having a lot of fun.
If it gets left outside, will it dissolve?
I don't think so. I think if you left it out there a long time, but this one's been sitting out there for a couple of days. It hasn't necessarily rained.
Yeah.
But
it still looks...
Yeah, it's still pretty good. In fact, you can see the letters from something right there. I don't know what that was. Oh, that was dice. I put a dice in there, and you can see it says 4 and 5. It was a 20-sider or something. So
that's neat.
So it's fun. Yeah. So, and the only other thing I'm working on that does make you dirty is I found these clip-on earrings, and so I'm going to make them into, put regular wires on them.
That's really beautiful.
Because I think they're really pretty.
They are very nice.
Yeah.
Just take the.
Yeah, you just turn this sideways here. There's a little
Okay.
space there. Turn that sideways. Pull it off of the clip-on. So you could go
Neat.
to a garage sale and buy clip-on earrings and change them over
That's
into
neat.
wire earrings if you have your ears pierced.
I always like these little screw-on kinds from way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
I
Yeah,
guess.
it's a good way to recycle.
Yeah, I mean it really takes 2 seconds. It's just they haven't made it upstairs to my studio yet. So, yes. So, celebrating the Podiversary. I got it right this time. Podiversary. 1 year. So go to sticksandstonespodcast.wordpress.com and check out all the free stuff
Yeah.
that we're offering. You just need to leave a comment to be entered into the drawing.
1 of 2 questions. Everybody's answering both of them so far, which is kind of fun, but you don't have to answer both. You can only answer one if you want to.
And the questions are, ting!
What is your favorite thing to make for somebody else as a gift? And what do you want to receive if somebody makes you a gift? So it's been kind of fun to see what the answers are. And I think that everybody seems to be pretty excited about being part of this little adventure. And I did, you can do the Ravelry thread or you can do a comment on the blog. Either way, you'll be entered, and I can't wait to see who gets what.
Yes, it's going to be fun. So
Yeah.
we still have some more time to get in there and check that out. Check out the coupon codes we have for your patterns, for
For Spitting Fates, and that'll all be starting the 22nd. of
Good
April.
deal.
And then the drawing, or the drawing thread is the entire month of April. So start now. I'll close it the 1st of May, and the 30th. It's on there. I wrote it down. I did. So
there you go. That's
Yeah.
all that counts. Right?
yeah. So check that out and join in with us. And so now we're going to.
Make some cookies.
Oh, great.
Yay!
All right. We'll see you right back.
For today's DIY, we're going to learn how to ice cookies. What you need to do this process is some food coloring, a bag if you're going to be piping, some icing. I am using Betty Crocker because I did not make my own today. Toothpicks to get your dye out of the container and into the icing or frosting, some tips, and the adapter. Plus, you of course need cookies. So what you do is you take your dye, and this is Wilton dye. It comes in a container like this, and this has 8 different colors in it. You can also get a smaller container that has just the primary colors in it, and then mix your own colors. So you just take the toothpick. You don't really need a lot. You don't need a spoonful. You just need a little bit on here. And actually, I already have another toothpick in here that has some dye on it. And we're going to close this up so I don't dump it everywhere. And I stir it around a little bit. Get that started. And then use my spoon and mix that up. And of course, just like mixing colors, if you want it darker, add more. If you want it lighter, add more white icing to get the color that you want. Now from here, you could just spread this right on the cookies. If you don't have tips to pipe it on. If you're gonna do that, you need to thin it, because if you try to ice it right from here, you'll see that it gets kind of lumpy and it's hard to smooth, and it doesn't look flat. So what you need to do is you take icing like that. This is the same icing and dye, and you add a little bit of milk. Just add teeny amounts of milk, and you can see that it gets a lot thinner. And then you can use this, and you can spread this really nicely, and it gets nice and smooth. And this is those cookies that you see, you know, in the store that have the real nice smooth icing. They just take this regular ready-made icing and add a little bit of milk to it to make it nice and smooth. And then you get a nice smooth finish. And you could just ice your cookies like that. Or you can do this process, and then after this icing hardens a little bit, then you can pipe icing on. Okay. So we have our icing that we have added color to here, and now we want to put it into a bag so we can pipe it. You can buy bags. These are the Wilton type of bags that you can just buy at any craft store or bakery shop. The other thing that I've started using is just plain old Ziploc bags. The reason I like these when you're working with kids is that with the Wilton bags with the open top, when you go to ice, you need to twist it where the icing meets, and then if you're good, you can do it one-handed and you can ice like this, or you can keep twisting it and hold and do two hands. The problem is kids grab it here and then half the icing shoots out the top, and so there's icing everywhere. And so to prevent that mess, I like to use a Ziploc bag that I can close. So what you do with either bag is you open up your adapter. This triangular part goes on the inside of the bag, and you stick it in the corner here, and you guesstimate. You want the plastic to cover your adapter, but you don't want to cut it so far that it's all the way up here, or else the tip will come off. So you just take a little square and snip that off and see if your end peeks through, just like that. Then you add your tip, whichever tip you choose, put that right on there, and then you take the coupler and you screw that on to keep the tip in place. Like that. So if you cut off too much of this when you pull the bag will come up to here, and then your icing will squeeze out the sides. So now you want to put your icing into your bag. If you just open your bag and try and put the icing in, you will have icing all over the bag, and you'll have more outside than inside. Take your bag and open it up and stick your hand inside like that. So here's the inside of the bag. And then you just take your icing and you can just put it right on there like that. And then when you're you can use your fingers and pull it off the spoon. And then take your bag and flip it around. And there you go. You have icing inside your bag. You want to squeeze the air out. As an adult, you can just leave the top closed. If you're using them with kids, I suggest you zip it closed so the icing doesn't come out. So these are the regular Ziploc storage bags. If you use the eco ones, which are thinner or sandwich bags, sometimes they get holes in them easier. So I use the ones that are a little heavier plastic. They're not quite as heavy as these, but being that most children are not professional cake decorators, and I'm not, you know, we're gonna decorate for maybe a half hour, you don't need the heavy-duty plastic. So once you're ready to ice, all you're gonna do, like I said before, is gather the bag right above the icing and twist it so that it doesn't squirt up the top. And then you can use your hand and then just apply gentle pressure and move very slowly to make different patterns on your cookies. Now the great thing about these couplers is you can change tips if you want. If you decide that you don't like this tip, you can take this off, just unscrew it, take this tip off. You want to have a plate nearby because there's icing inside of it, and you can stick another one on like that. You can also change colors. If you want, you could take this from another color, put it on here. Obviously your first two squirts of icing are going to be a different color. So you can just change the tip and then do a new little bat of icing. Now, if your icing stands up like that and you don't want it to, you can take a knife, make it a little wet, and just tap it, and it'll make that bubble go down. That little Hershey Kiss looking thing go down. Some people like them, they're kind of decorative, but some people don't. And then this will be the time to put sprinkles on before the icing hardens.
Time to make the cookies.
Time to make the cookies. The recipe that I used for this cutout dough is from Martha Stewart.
Oh, okay.
So we'll put a link to that on the blog, so that if you want to try it too, it's actually a really good recipe. I thought I had added too much flour because of the way it was rolling out, but in the end, If you bake them for a longer time, they get very crispy.
Oh,
And if you bake them for a shorter time, they get very chewy.
very neat.
So,
Okay,
so what are you making?
I'm doing a little chick, and I'm attempting to make feathers. I'm not sure if it's working, but it's kind of cute.
So twist your
That.
thing like that. Hold it in the palm of your hand.
Oh.
You're holding an egg.
Oh, okay.
And then just squeeze very gently with your fingers.
That will make it easier.
Hopefully. Oh, I want a lamb. think-
So,
Go ahead.
you use the Betty Crocker icing, you said.
Yeah, I mean, you could use any kind. That was just the kind that I bought. It's called frosting, and it's just the kind that comes in the jar.
Right.
And it's thick enough that you can pipe.
So what if you were to make your own, like a buttercream or something like that? Do you need to be careful of how thick or thin it is? Just don't add as much milk or...
Pretty much so.
Okay.
You need to have some sort of stiffness to it, so you're going to have butter or something in it.
Okay.
Compared to if you make the icing that is just milk and powdered sugar, that never gets thick enough. Because that's more like a glaze. There's little spoons here.
My chick has just turned into a ball of fluff.
We'll give it an eyeball.
Yeah.
Where are the eyeballs?
Right
There they
here.
are. These are the spoons that I fed my kids with,
Those are
and
so
now they're
cute.
perfect sprinkle spoons. See, this is my favorite one, or my second favorite one is the lamb. I don't even know how this started. I think it started as before a holiday, my children lose their minds,
Yes.
and you're like, I just need to do my holiday stuff, and they're running around in circles. So I've come up with these food things for them to make.
Okay.
At Thanksgiving, we make these acorns where you take the top of a mini Nutter Butters, which are round. You take them apart and you stick them on a Hershey Kiss, and they look like acorns.
That's cute.
So that's our Thanksgiving craft. This is our Easter one when they're running around in circles, and then I let them eat icing too.
Yeah.
So, but
Do they run more after that?
it's like I can set them up. They make a huge mess. I can get the sprinkles off the ground with the vacuum cleaner, but it keeps them in one space while I do what I need to do. And actually, I love decorating cookies. So, Easter, we have these fun cutouts, and we do this at Easter time. And I always do this lamb with these little stars to make it look like he's all fuzzy.
Oh, cute. That's a good idea.
There he is.
This one's turning out much better than my chick did. Aw, how cute.
So I don't know where the lamb came from, where those came from, but this little tiny chick that you have,
The one that now looks like...
it looks like a little tiny chick. They look like fuzzballs.
Exploded.
I can't find any. So I got this. There's a cookie cutter manufacturer in Fleetwood, Pennsylvania called Foose Company,
Okay.
and they just make cookie cutters. And you can find just about any cookie cutter you could ever desire there. They make most of them on site there in
Oh, fun.
Fleetwood. And so I got a little chick and a couple other ones when we were there recently. So look at your chick. See how cute he is?
We're getting there. I had to make a beak, otherwise he just looked like fluff.
So cute.
My in-laws just got a whole bunch of new chicks, and so we were at Easter. We were outside checking them out, and you could scoop them up and cuddle with them, and they were so cute. Such cute little chicks.
See, they look just like your cookie.
Yeah, they were
Except that
really
you couldn't
sweet.
eat them like you can eat the cookies.
They were very cute. My kids love chickens. We would have chickens in the city if we could figure out a way to do it.
Look at that.
Very nice. This is pretty fun.
It is fun, isn't it? Especially when someone else makes the cookies and cleans up the mess.
Yes.
It's actually
I agree.
a couple day process sometimes.
I know what I can do.
You go, girl.
Check this out. Ready?
I can't wait.
I am making a sheep in a sweater.
Oh my gosh.
Just because I can.
I'm sure that everyone's going to know that. They're going to look at that cookie and say, look, it's a sheep in a sweater. In fact, he's wearing the same colors as you.
Oh. Yeah, because I have great taste. I really do.
So,
It's not really perfect.
well, thanks for joining us today for our Podiversary cookiness. Nice. Oh, look, it's a sheep in a sweater.
A sheep in sheep's clothing.
Ah, that's why I made the wolf. There's a wolf in here somewhere, a cookie cutter. That was one of the new ones we bought. We need to try it.
Yeah.
But thanks. Go to the website, check out what kind of neat prizes we have for our upcoming drawing.
Yeah.
And
Join us again next time.
Bye.
Bye.